Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. Whatever year it is, who knows, but we're going to jump right in here. You have this fish card, which is the King of Diamonds, and the lily here. The fish, it could be you, but the King of Diamonds is really, could be Earth or an Earth sign, that is in your life or something like that. But the fish is a great card of abundance and receiving abundance, or, making more money. So I kind of get the feeling that, there could be some sort of, harvest or gift coming in for you here. Even the lily can represent, kind of like receiving some sort of gift, kind of. And so I do feel that there could be, some, more, abundance that you're creating around this time. I kind of get the feeling like this is not really, I don't really see this in the cards, is what I'm trying to say here. But what I kind of feel is that some of you have been, motivated by something, or something is motivating you right now. That could be, a challenge that you've experienced. It could be pretty much anything, of course. But I feel like it's almost like something has happened, to you recently, and I feel like whatever this thing is that has happened to you, it's kind of, motivating you, to action here. And hold on one second, that looks a little bit better. But, I feel like something has kind of, motivated you to, get your butt moving here, Pisces. And so, again, is this a bad thing? I would say no. Again, I feel like there's, abundance coming in for you. It's almost like you're, grieving the loss of something, though. And again, this is, intuitive, and, Lenormand is not necessarily meant to be read, intuitively, although I think any card is. But, I always look at Lenormand as, a very, strict system of card reading, where you, follow the system. But, I kind of get this energy of, grieving the loss of something. But this is not, again, I'm not talking about a person here. I feel like this is financially, related, And, even though we'll talk about this in a second, the King of Diamonds can definitely be a person. I don't know if I said this, by the way, this is for Doi Janai. I'm losing my mind right now. But, what I would say is that I feel like there could be, some sort of financial loss, but not really, financial loss. Just, maybe, something has happened at work or business where you've had to be more motivated, or you've had to look for other ways of doing things. And again, just long story short, I think things are going to work out very well for you. The King of Diamonds is also a card of a soulmate. So if you are looking for love, there definitely could be love here. In your current general energies, this first row, you have the 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, and the 3 of Wands. I do feel, just even based off your astrology right now, Pisces, I do feel that you are looking for ways to kind of, expand your finances or grow your finances. I've said it a million times before, I feel it's time for Pisces to make money. Literally, it's time. It's time for you to, do things that make you more money. This has nothing to do with, materialism or anything like that. It has to do with, your worth and, what you bring to the world. And I always say there's no honor in, doing things for no money when the value that you bring to the world is much, much more. And if that makes you uncomfortable, go live under a bridge. I don't care, right? Plain and simple. People always love to leave comments, or, how dare you say that we have to make money, and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, why do I see your picture with a Starbucks in it? Go live under a bridge. But for the rest of you that are smart, you have the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment and success coming in for you. I think that you're matching energy more, and again, that's really what this is about. Again, if you're, not valuing yourself, and again, I think light workers, spiritual workers, things like that, are really bad at not valuing, their services or whatever they do for the world. And again, if you're not doing that, then, of course, you're not going to have money, right? So I think, in a lot of ways, the 9 of Cups is a card of, being in the energy of what you want. And that includes, charging for your services, or making money just in general, or, having nice things in your life. And the Nine of Cups is really kind of, like, all about your environment, making sure that you're surrounding yourself, with an environment of success. He is about to have a feast because he has had a feast before. So we have to be in the energy of what we want to be able to get it again. And I think that really this first row is kind of, like, talking about, how you value yourself or the value you receive. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, of course, is a card of expansion and growth. Again, I think that Pisces, just in general, maybe, like, a little shift that's going to be happening for you starting to though John Nye is that you are going to be feeling much more expansive, or you are going to have a desire to, expand in some way into the world, whether that's, like, make more money or get more attention, pretty much anything. And again, you have Jupiter moving through your fourth, so, expansion. I think we think of Jupiter in the fourth as moving, but it could just be your place in the world that is expanding. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. Definitely walking away from something here. I get this feeling that, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it here, Pisces, like, I think I get this feeling of some sort of grief. I'm not sure, and, again, I don't claim to know everything, right? So I am not exactly sure, like, where that is coming from, if that makes sense to you. But it's like you could be, ending an era in your life, right? Where sometimes I think, I don't know, there are, like, certain things we enjoy, right, and then we have to move past those things for whatever reason. Maybe we get older, whatever the case may be, and it's like that type of feeling here. And I'm hoping that more comes out, cause, like, I don't even know why it's important in your reading, but it's popping up. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Ace of Wands. Now, new ideas is definitely where it's at. I mean, you think Pluto moving into Aquarius, even though it's retrograding, I don't care. Just there's so much. Even, you could argue that Uranus in Taurus is very, is kind of like a very innovative energy, is very good for new ideas or just innovation in general. So I think that, new, exciting growth is where it's at. I think that we need to fill the world with more good ideas, and, I think that Pisces is definitely one of the signs that needs to be doing that. With the Three of Wands, you have a Five of Swords. Yeah, like I said, I think there is good reading, but there is something here about, like, walking away from something or, not being able to enjoy something anymore. It could be love. I mean, I didn't say this, but what I wanted to say about that King of Diamonds as well, the fish card in the Lenormand, is that the King of Diamonds can represent a soulmate, coming in for you. You have the King of Pentacles, King of Swords. It's interesting because you have the King of Diamonds and the King of Spades, basically the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, in the, Lenormand as well. And so I feel that, for some of you, there could be, like, new love coming in for you, and it's going to come from expansion. We go up to the Four of Wands in this row here, and, it's coming off of the Five of Swords and that Three of Wands. So it's like Five of Swords, walking away, the winner from something, Three of Wands, like, stepping into this energy of expansion, and, and then the Four of Wands would be kind of like the marriage. But the Four of Wands could be the freedom, Again, bear with me here, cause, I feel like I'm getting to something. But what I would say I'm getting to the point here, Pisces, right, I think what this is saying is that, you are about to, have something really good in your life, but it's going to require you to, expand. It's going to require you to, grow or, step outside a comfort zone. With that Three of Wands, take some sort of risk, or definitely do something you've never done before. Three of Wands is my card of doing something that you've never done before. He is standing at the top of this hill, and he's looking at those boats, but he needs to get on those boats to get whatever he is hoping for. He needs to, go on the adventure, and I feel this reading is definitely kind of saying that. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Fates card, and you have this New Life card. A lot of things happening. I actually feel pretty good about this. I think that, during this time, you're going to start feeling like I don't really feel like there's anything necessarily unexpected really showing up here. But what I would say is that I feel like you're going to start feeling more guided, more led, and I feel like you're going to start feeling like you are more, kind of like on the right path. That Fates card kind of can represent, a fated event or something that is fated in your life, but I get a different meaning off of that card in this reading for you. I think that it's saying, again, I think it's saying that you feel more guided or led, or you feel more like you are moving in the right direction. So it's like that type of fate. It's like you feel like you're finally on the right path. You feel like things are falling into place. Let's put it that way. I love that new life card. It is a card of being lifted up. It is a card of stepping into a beautiful new life. That lady or that fairy, whatever it is glowing on that pedestal. And again, I think that the whole entire reading is saying that you are starting to, put yourself on a pedestal. You have the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. Again, if you're looking for love, you could be attracting, a King of Swords, King of Pentacles type person. It could be an air sign or earth sign. I'm getting it could be any sign, general reading. But I feel like this person's, very mature. I think they have a lot of proof that they're mature. On, the high vibration side of things, I always think of the King of Swords as, having a lot of proof that he is mature. And it doesn't matter what gender you're into. But, again, if you're attracting a person, I think there's a lot of evidence that this person, takes care of business, takes care of their life, and that's what I would pay attention to here. I also feel that this is really talking about trusting your instincts. The King of Swords is a card of discernment and being able to know right from wrong, being able to know, what's going to work and not going to work in your life. And so he's able to tell the difference. And again, I think a lot of you are a lot wiser, or you've gained a lot of wisdom over the past couple years. And yeah, I would just, trust your wisdom. You have the King of Pentacles, and I like the King of Pentacles for love. You could be attracting a person. It could be, an air sign with earth sign with air, whatever the case may be. Definitely could lead to marriage. But I feel like this person is, very stable, secure, very well put together. I'm definitely picking up on there's something here about, this person's, the way that they are, right? I think they're very well put together. I think that's something that you will notice, is that, maybe they're very orderly, or maybe they just dress well, or something like that. But I think that they are really a reflection of their life. It's I think it'll be obvious with this person, is what I'm trying to say. So, for those of you that want love, this is good. I also think you are kind of, becoming this person. I think sometimes people think Pisces is, a little bit messy, just in life in general, right? And, but again, I think you're becoming more, it's almost like you are also becoming more kind of, well put together, using your wisdom, using your knowledge. And so, again, it would make sense that you could be attracting a person who also pretty much does the same thing. You have the Four of Swords here. We're still in this time, again, if you need a break, if you need to rest, relax, recover, I would be recharging your batteries. I kind of see Pisces life is going to be in sprints over the next, few months. So, there might be moments where you feel very motivated, you feel like you can work, and I would, work during those moments. But there are going to be other times where you maybe feel like you don't have as much energy, and again, I would take advantage of that as well. Make sure that you're recharging your batteries so that when you do have the energy, you have more than enough, right? Especially if you take care of yourself. Yes, with the King of Swords, you have the Nine of Cups. There's definitely a person, I feel. There's a person who has their eye on you, who you don't even know about yet, is what I feel here, Pisces. So, maybe a little bit unexpected, right? I don't think this is totally unexpected. I think you will, kind of figure out eventually who this person is, because I feel that either you're going to be celebrating with this person, or they are going to be making themselves known. But Knight of Cups is like a knight in shining armor. This looks really good for those of you that want a connection, for sure. I feel like this person, it's like they pull their weight. You even end with the Ten of Wands, but the Ten of Wands is coming up in the good stuff. So I think Pisces is always used to being a giver and giving too much in connections, but again, I think you're finding a person who kind of, pulls their own weight in a connection, who actually gives to the connection. So, looks really good. With the King of Pentacles, sorry, you have the Ten of Cups. Yep, definitely a very strong connection here, if you want love. If you don't want love, and even if you do, Nine of Cups is a card of your dreams, and the Ten of Cups, these people are choosing to focus on those 10 cups there. So they are focusing on their dream life. They're focusing on manifesting a dream, or, creating some sort of dream that they want to have, or a dream life that they want to live. And I feel that you need to definitely watch your focus. I think Pisces are kind of like the manifestors right now. I think Pisces is always a manifester. Every Pisces I know manifests like crazy, or can. And, again, I would say that, focusing on the good stuff, focusing on exactly what you want, not getting dragged down, is a good idea. Pisces still has Saturn in Pisces for the next couple of years, and, the thing with Saturn is it can be, like, a little bit of a downer. I actually like the Pisces-Saturn energy, because, I think that it's, kind of like making us work, making us do things. We also have Neptune in Pisces, and as I always say, that combination is dope, Pisces. For, if you have a dream, it's kind of like, even if it's an impossible dream, if there was ever a time where you could accomplish it, it would be right now, because Saturn is grounding that Neptune dream in reality. So again, I think your focus, and needing to focus on, the good stuff, is important. I really see you focusing on stabilizing your finances here as well. With the Four of Swords, you have the King of Swords. I do feel like someone's waiting. It's like a person has their eye on you, but they still haven't made a move yet, or they're still not doing anything yet. Will they make a move? Yes. I feel like there is communication right here. So it looks to me like eventually a person is going to come in and communicate with you. I feel like this person already has their eye on you. Again, for most of you, I feel like you're totally clueless about who this person is. So there you go, you probably don't even know. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have fulfillment and protection. Love it. I think that the protection message is important for Pisces as well, because, again, I think that there's a lot in the astrology that could be making Pisces worry. You could be, and Pisces, we are worriers, right? That's what we do. So I think that there's, a lot of things that could be going on. Maybe you're worried that AI is going to take your job, or maybe you're worried about something else. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. And I feel like the protection message is saying, well, Pisces, you are protected. Nothing is going to happen to you that you can't handle. So I think that you need to operate, you need to act as if things are always working out for you, as Esther Hicks says. I think you need to make that your kind of, default operation mode. Even if you are worried about things. And again, I'm not saying there aren't plenty of things to worry about, but, worrying really does nothing. So I think that you need to focus on fulfillment, bringing more fulfillment into your life, and, also, fun, having fun, doing fun things. That's what I would focus on here. I think that a lot of your ideas, Pisces, as well, if you're having new ideas with that Ace of Wands, I think that you also could be thinking, it's like you need to work on your new ideas, is what I'm going to say here. Because I get this feeling that you could be thinking, oh, you have a new idea, and then you're like, oh my god, this isn't going to work because of XYZ. But again, I think if you put the work in, it would actually work. You have the Four of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Hierophant. Four of Wands, of course, can represent marriage. So there could be a person who wants to marry you coming in for you here, Pisces, for sure. I don't think you're going to get married today, of course. I think that this is something that is going to happen over time, or is, going to happen at a certain point in the future. But the Four of Wands is definitely a card of marriage. I think the universe is also telling you to, come to the other side of the Four of Wands here. It's almost like the universe is asking you to celebrate. And again, I think it's time for Pisces to look for something to level up on, right? So, whatever you do in your life, how can you take it to the next level? How can you advance it? How can you, turn it into something more? This could be a project, a business, it could be your health, whatever. whatever it is doesn't really matter. But I would be, like, picking one thing where you really try to, like, level it up, where you really try to bring it to the next level. Because the Four of Wands says that's where the celebration will come from. You have the Eight of Wands, quick success coming in for you. Again, I get money fears. Really good reading, and there really isn't much about money showing up here, but again, even looking at your astrology, I think Pisces could be, like, a little bit worried about money. But the Eight of Wands is a card of quick success. You know, again, if you're just sitting down doing nothing all day, then I would definitely worry. If you are doing the same thing you've been doing for a long time, then I would definitely worry. But there are easy solutions, to these problems that you can solve. You can do something new, you can try something different, you can launch one of your ideas, you can, learn something new. That's another big one with the Eight of Wands, is just, like, self-education, can lead to quick success. So, as long as you're learning, then you will be finding, quick success. I would also encourage you to socialize here. You know, again, if you are moving, like most Pisces, Jupiter going into your 4th house is notorious for moving. I moved, right? So if you have moved, I would, like, meet new people, socialize. That could bring whatever you love, business, whatever. You have the Hanged Man here. I think the Hanged Man is talking about lessons that you've learned, and this is, like, where the blessings are coming from. Pisces has to let go of old karma, for sure. So, any old difficult lessons, I think, are being reflected. And, we're talking about a period in your past. What are the lessons that you learned during that time of your life, Pisces? And, I think if you look at that period, if you look at the lessons you learned during those times, that you could be experiencing very similar emotions, feelings. Like how you feel things are going to work out. It could remind you of that time. Even things that are happening in your life right now could remind you of that time. I think what the universe is saying is, like, well, did you learn? Did you learn how to deal with those things, and what blessings did you get from those situations? So especially around money, just based off your astrology, right, I would be looking at, like, what did you learn, during that time? Or, I don't think we should have regrets, but, what regrets do you have from that time even as well, and, like, how can you correct it this time? Like, was there something that you didn't do back then where you should have, taken action on something? Or did you have a business idea, and then, did you have a situation where, like, your friend took that business idea and made it successful, and now you have a new business idea? It's like, okay, well, get working on it, right, 'cause it's going to be a blessing. With the Four of Wands, like I said, you're definitely not talking to a person here. I feel like this is a new person. This is not a bad thing. But I feel like there is definitely a person in your energy, or there's definitely a person who's interested in you. If you've recently been socializing, it could be a new person, from that. I feel like it's a person who's, like, in your energy or has access to you in some way. Eight of Wands could even be a friend. Eight of Wands is my card of socializing, so I feel like there's definitely a person here. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. What did you learn from the past? He is literally looking at what he has already done, exactly what I just said. He is looking at those Seven of Pentacles, what he has already grown, and he's trying to decide, like, what's worth it, what's not worth it. What should I continue to work on, and what should I let go of? So I feel, for a lot of you, that this is basically saying, you need to look at what you have already created, or what you have already done, and kind of, like, change it to something new. It's like you've already gotten everything you can, out of where you are now. It's time to level up. With the Hierophant, you have the Two of Cups here. Yeah, so definitely could be a very strong connection coming for you. I feel like, this person is different than your usual type as well. It's like maybe you like brunettes and they're blonde, right, or whatever. Maybe you don't like, maybe you think all redheads are evil, right, and they're like a redhead. So, sorry for you redheads out there. But, what I would say is, like, there's some sort of difference, maybe in, like, the attraction or, like, the type of person this is. But again, that could be a good thing. Usually, we have a type, and usually our type is not good, right? Usually, we keep going for the same type of person, and it doesn't work out. So this could be a good thing, but definitely a good love reading for sure. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card. It says, confidence is your key to success. Yes, new levels of confidence, for Pisces. I mean, I feel like you've been developing this for a long time. You had Jupiter in your first house, in the past, and we still have Neptune and Saturn in your first house. So that first house energy definitely could be helping you. And you have this card that says, what do you need to release? There is definitely something that you need to release, but I think it's your old way of being, the old Pisces. And now it's time to step into, like, new Pisces, great white shark Pisces. You have the 10 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, and the Fool. Yeah, the hard work is over. I think you've, again, learned a lot. Your karma for many years has been learning from hard work, or, basically learning by having to struggle. And I think that it's time for Pisces to let go of the struggle. It's time for Pisces to realize that they don't have to have that in love and business and health and everything, right? It's like, I think everything, and I've said this to you before, it's like maybe even for a very long time, I think for Pisces, everything has always been kind of like an uphill battle. And now it's time for you to kind of release that, but you have to mentally release that. Sometimes, when we go through the struggle, it becomes a comfort zone. It's like that's why people, stay in sucky relationships, because it's like, yeah, it sucks, but you also know the person, right? So you're not, like, willing to leave. And I feel like the 10 of Wands, I'm not telling you to leave your partner, by the way, but what I am saying is that, if you are struggling in some area of your life, how can you let go of the struggle or release the struggle? And that's what I would do there. You have the 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is a celebration. If you're meeting a person, and, by the way, if you're meeting a person, I feel like this person is like two people. Not in, like, a psycho way, but I'm talking about as in this person, I think, will, if you're attracting love, will make you feel like they actually are equivalent to two people, like maybe that's how much energy they bring to the connection. I also feel that, for a lot of you, it's just time to celebrate a harvest. And it's time. Like I said, I think you need to level up the way that you make money or how you make money. This could include, getting a raise, asking for a raise, asking for a promotion, raising your prices, whatever the case may be. I would do it. You have the Fool. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith. And again, the whole entire reading kind of speaks of this new beginning. We even start with the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is, like, the spark of life or starting something new. So you're definitely entering into, this new world or something. And it feels fated here, Pisces. With the 10 of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So again, fate and fortunes turning in your favor. I just feel like fortunes are turning in your favor here. With the 3 of Cups, you have the Fool. I think that it is, safe for you to love as well. I think it's safe for you to open up to a new connection. I would just pay attention to energy. Again, I think Pisces has, for a long time, dealt with people who don't give in connections or basically bring nothing, to the connection. And so I would make sure that if you're opening up to a new connection, that you allow that person to give. Again, don't, like, immediately do the Pisces thing where you're just, like, give, right? I think it's better to give a little, let them give a little, and then kind of go back and forth. With the Fool, you have the 3 of Wands. Again, we start and end with the 3 of Wands here. 3 of Wands, 3 of Wands, 3 of Wands, a card of expansion and growth and, kind of like expanding. I think you need to take some sort of risk here as well, Pisces. I think that you need to kind of, like, literally get out into the world, like, go do stuff, leave your Pisces cave, right? This is mine right here, so I know that I ain't lying. And you have this pearl. It says hidden gem on it. Yeah, if you're attracting a person, I definitely feel you could be attracting, like, a real gem of a person here. I do get that energy. It's like, is this person a bad boy, bad girl enough for you, Pisces? It's like sometimes they think Pisces, secretly likes that bad boy, bad girl, type of energy, whatever you want to call it. And, this person, it's just, like, in my head, I feel like they're almost, like, a little bit vanilla, if you catch my drift here, Pisces. I have to keep it, G-rated on YouTube, but it's like, are they exciting enough? I feel like they could be, if you catch my drift here, Pisces. You have this gazelle. It says change and purity on it. Yeah, there's a big change here, but it's like about you needing to realize that things have changed, you needing to not accept the struggle. And so, again, if you're doing something where you're struggling, it's like, how can you evolve it, change it, transform it, transmute it, or go do something completely different that does work, right? And that's what I feel like this is saying here. It's almost like this is not a struggle for me. Like, I do this all day long, right? And this is what I want to do. But it's almost as if it's like if I were to take my skills to another channel, it would probably blow up very quickly. I've already done it, and it did, so there you go. But what I would say here is that it's like that is less work, right? And so it's almost as if that's what you need to do. It's like whatever you're doing right now might be a little bit of a struggle, and there's something where you could take your skills, use those skills, and it would be way easier. And you have the scales card. It says justice and documents on it. Funny that way I said, Pisces karma earlier, because again, I think that a lot of the stuff that's going on for you, Pisces, has to do with kind of like the karmic lessons that you've learned, if you whatever you want to call it. And now things are, balancing out for you. So, really good reading, Pisces. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your time ahead.